sun goes dancing in the air. Traffic's off beyond the window, but for once I do not care. People pass with folded umbrellas, bags and coats, and somewhere to be. I stay here with this quiet cup and let the day come back to me. No need to hurry, no need to chase. There's a little peace in this borrowed place. Quiet cup at noon, little warmth between my hands, turning all the restless hours into softer, slower plans. Quiet cup at noon, with the city humming low. For a moment I can breathe here, for a moment I can slow. Sugar in the bottom, turning like a thought I almost knew. Rain marks on the glass are fading, and the sky is opening blue. Someone laughs beside the counter, someone pulls a chair and stays, and the room begins to brighten in its ordinary way. Maybe all I needed was a small and shining pause, not a change in all my future, just a break inside the noise. Quiet cup at noon, little warmth between my hands, turning all the restless hours into softer, slower plans. Quiet cup at noon, I will keep this when I go. How a little bit of stillness can make the whole day glow. Silver on the window frame, softly running down the glass. Every car becomes a watercolor, every stranger drifting past. Inside the room feels warmer than the weather on the street, and the quiet kind of music makes the whole day feel complete. All the gray turns to shine takes its time. Silver window moon, soft and bright and drifting through, making all the little corners feel a little fresh and new. Silver window moon, with the city blurred outside, I can leave the rush behind me, I can let the moment grind. Cups along the counter, little lamps beginning glow. Nothing special, nothing perfect, still it's all I need to know. There are days that ask for too much, there are days that pull too hard. Then there's this one wrapped in silver, soft enough to drop my guard. Not a storm, not a shadow, just the weather turning kind, and the room becomes a harbor for a tired and noisy mind. Silver window mood, soft and bright and drifting through, making all the little corners feel a little fresh and new. Silver window mood, when I step back out again, I will carry all this calmness like a song beneath the rain. Slow hours in the corner, warm hands round a paper cup. Rain is tapping at the window like it doesn't want too much. I can hear the city moving, but it doesn't pull me in. For a little while I'm floating far outside the usual spin. There's a kindness in the pace when the day begins to wait. Slow hours, warm hands, that's enough for me right now. Just a chair, a song, a little shelter, and a softer sky somehow. Slow hours, warm hands, let the busy world go by. For a moment I can rest here, for a moment I feel light. Every small thing seems to matter. How the steam curls toward the light, how the room grows bright with voices as the afternoon turns white. Nothing grand is happening really, still I don't want this to end. There are days that need a rescue and some only need a bend. Not every good feeling has to arrive like the sun. Sometimes it's a quiet table and the chance to come undone. Slow hours, warm hands, that's enough for me right now. Just a chair, a song, a little shelter, and a softer sky somehow. Slow hours, warm hands, when I leave I'll take along how a little pause can turn into the start of something strong. Slow hours, slow hours, slow hours.
Porch light in the drizzle, making little gold on stone. Every drop becomes a rhythm, every street less hard-edged known. People hurry under umbrellas, but the glow just stays the same. Like a calm inside the weather, like a kindness without a name. And the whole night feels less far when the rain and light know where you are. Porch light in the drizzle, small but steady in the blue, turning every wet reflection into something soft and new. Porch light in the drizzle, when the days run too fast, you can find a little comfort in a glow that simply lasts. There's a coat hung by the doorway, there's a laugh inside the room, there's a teacup on the railing holding tiny threads of bloom. Maybe rest is not a weekend, maybe joy is not a plan. Maybe it's this little moment when the weather slows a man. No fireworks, no grand surprise, just a lamp against the rain and a gentler kind of night. Porch light in the drizzle, small but steady in the blue, turning every wet reflection into something soft and new. soul, I will remember how even little lights can lift me, even little lights know how. Morning spill into the crosswalk, phones and footsteps, passing trains. Everyone was made of motion, everyone was full of names. Then I found a quiet table by a window and some green, and the whole latte grew smaller in the steam between my fingers. Just one pause in the noise, and the world returns its voice. One pause in the city, that's all I really need. Just enough to hear my breathing, just enough to change my speed. One pause in the city, and the rush begins to bend into something I can carry, into something kind again. Rain has darkened all the pavement, coffee warms the room in gold. Someone flips a page beside me, someone smiles and leaves their coat. Nothing here is asking for much, still it feels like being saved by a lamp, a song, a window, and a few unhurried minutes. Maybe rest is not escaping, maybe rest is standing still long enough to let the daylight settle where it always will. One pause in the city, that's all I really need. Just enough to hear my breathing, just enough to change my speed. One pause in the city, when I step back into rain, I will move a little lighter, I will sound a little change. Steam above the glass, drawing little shapes that fade, like the thoughts I came in holding, now unbuttoned by the day. Outside silver lanes are shining, inside cups and low jazz glow, and the room feels like it's saying, you can stay here, take it slow. Every breath finds its place when the hour moves with grace. Steam above the glass, floating easy through the light, turning all my sharper worries soft and small
smaller than they were. Steam above the glass makes the room feel almost new. And the day I thought was heavy starts to open back into blue. There's a spoon against the saucer. There's a book beside my hand. There's a calm in how the weather never asks me where I stand. I can let the minutes gather, I can leave them undefined, like the steam above the window, like the peace inside my mind. Not a lesson, not a sign, just a quiet little shelter at the perfect time. Steam above the glass, floating easy through the light, turning all my sharper worries soft and smaller than they were. Steam above the glass. When the afternoon is through, I will keep this gentle feeling, like a warmth that follows through. Soft tables, fading streets, rain light running by my seat. Everything beyond the window moves a little slower, sweet. There's a notebook, there's a pastry, there's a tune I almost know. And the city past the glass looks kinder in the afterglow. The whole day starts to lean toward the quiet in between. Soft tables, fading streets, that's the place I wanna stay, where the noise turns into rhythm and the gray turns into grace. Soft tables, fading streets, let the afternoon unwind, till the little things around me make a holiday of time. Someone sets another order, someone laughs near table 3, and the world feels less demanding than it did an hour ago. Maybe joy is not dramatic, maybe rest is not complete. Maybe both can live together in a room like this with tea. If the sky stays silver, I don't really mind. There's enough bright living in this little slice of time. Soft tables, fading streets, that's the place I wanna stay, where the noise turns into rhythm and the gray turns into grace. Soft tables, fading streets, I will carry what they mean, how the smallest sort of comfort can make everything feel green. Between errands and evening, I found a little place to land. Rain on coats and paper bags and warmth between my hands. The day They had been all numbers, all clocks and crossing signs. Then a song and cup of something sweet went and changed my mind. Not forever, just enough for the heart to loosen up. Between errands and evening, there's a room where time gets slow, where the noise steps out the doorway and the softer colors show. Between errands and evening, I can be a little still, and the half-spent day grows lighter by the window on the hill. The table catches lamplight, the glass catches the rain, and every little passing face looks gentler through the pain. There are hours made for working, and there are hours made for tea, and this one feels like both of them have made a place for me. No need to solve tomorrow, no need to chase the night. There's a sweetness in the middle of the nearly fading light. Between errands and evening, there's a room where time gets slow, where the noise steps out the doorway and the softer colors show. Between errands and evening, when I leave I'll take along how the busiest kind of day can still end up in song. Calm in a paper cup, held between my tired hands. Rain is drawing silver lines all across the traffic lamps. I didn't know how much I needed something small and warm and plain, till the whole out day grew softer with the weather and the rain. Little things can be enough when the world has asked too much. Calm in a paper cup, simple as a slowing breath, turning all my crowded thoughts into something light instead. Calm in a paper cup, on a day that ran too fast, like a pause I get to carry even after this one passes. Every table has a story, every coat a place to go, but the room feels like it's holding all of us a little close. There's a kindness in the clatter, in the low and easy song, in the way the hour reminds me I don't have to hurry on. No grand cure, no perfect plan, just a little warmth, and I can start again. Calm in a paper cup, simple as a slowing breath, turning all my crowded thoughts into something light instead. Calm in a paper cup, I will keep it when I leave. How a small and quiet comfort can become relief.
Velvet over traffic, that's the way the evening evening falls, softening the horns and headlight on the wet and shining road. Inside the room is amber, outside silver lanes unwind, and the whole world feels more patient than it did inside my mind. What a way to slow the day. Let the rain take the edge away. Velvet over traffic like a blanket on the noise, turning all the restless motion into softer kind of chords. Velvet over traffic makes the city feel like home, even when the streets are crowded, even when I'm on my own. The spoon rings on the cup once, then the room returns to hush, and the weather on the window turns the whole cafe to blush. I come here nearly breathless from a day that moved too fast. Now the light above the counter makes me think I just might last. No need for sunlight, no need for blue. Some nights the silver feels better coming through. Velvet over traffic like a blanket on the noise, turning all the restless motion into softer kind of chords. Velvet over traffic, I will remember what it knew, how the city in the rainfall can feel beautiful and new. Half a song, half a breath. That's how this afternoon begins, with the rain along the railing and the warmth beneath my skin. Nothing here is trying too hard, nothing here is out of place. Just a rune and weather meeting with a little bit of grace. And I feel the whole day bend toward a softer kind of end. Half a song, half a breath, and the rush is gone somehow. What was heavy turns to paper, what was sharp is gentle now. Half a song, half a breath, at a table by the rain, like the world is telling me I can start again. There are pages on the counter, there are footsteps by the door, there are little lives unfolding in the quiet evermore. Maybe pieces made of pieces, not a perfect shining whole. Maybe this is why the small things
Chairs by the window pane sat like they were waiting there for the silver of the weather and the warmth inside the air. Rain goes wandering down the glass in a slow and easy line, and the room feels full of softness, like the day has changed its mind. Little lights, little rain, little peace on the pane. Chairs by the window pane hold the hour in their way, turning all the passing weather into something I can stay. Chairs by the window pane and a cup beside my hand make the whole wet world outside feel easier to understand. A coat draped over polished wood, a low song by the bar, small reflections in the spoon like tiny city stars. Nothing here is meant to dazzle, still it brightens everything. And I think the nicest places do not have to try to sing. Maybe shelter looks like this, a simple room and borrowed bliss. Chairs by the window pane hold the hour in their way, turning all the passing weather into something I can stay. Chairs by the window pane, I will take their lesson too, how to hold a little stillness till the whole day feels renewed.
The kindness of grace on the buildings and the leaves, on the river and the station, and the cuffs around my sleeves. Nothing blazing, nothing broken, just the day in softer tones. And for once I like the weather, not for where it leads, but how it holds. No bright blue, no grand display, still the world feels kind today. The kindness of grace makes the whole day easier, turns a rush into a rhythm, turns the noise into a blur. The kindness of grace lays a calm across the street, and I find a little comfort in the silver at my feet. Rain has darkened all the sidewalks, tea has warmed the room in gold, and the little things around me look more tender than before. Maybe joy is not just sunlight, maybe hope is not just clear. Maybe some of my best mornings wear a softer color here. What a gentle thing to learn. Not all brightness has
easier on the mind. Blue and gold on the lane, soft little stars inside the rain. Lanterns on wet pavement keep the whole night shining low. Make the tired part of the evening feel like somewhere I can go. Lanterns on wet pavement, on the stone and on the cars, teaching every rainy sidewalk how to carry little stars. There's a cafe near the crossing where the air smells sweet and warm, and the laughter by the doorway makes the weather lose its storm. Nothing huge is happening here, still the whole scene feels alive. And I think the nicest evenings are the ones that barely try. No fireworks, no skyline flare, just lantern light and damp night air. Lanterns on wet pavement keep the whole night shining low. Make the tired part of the evening feel like somewhere I can go. Lanterns on wet pavement, I will hold them in my chest. How a rainy road can glitter, how the dark can still feel blessed. A little room to stay, that's what this hour feels like. Rain at the edge of the awning, lamp at the edge of the night, a chair, a cup, a window, a song I almost know, and the day that ran so quickly, finally learning slow. I don't need more than this, just a place the rush can miss, a little room to stay. Ooh, inside the middle of the day. Ooh, where the weather and the music wash the sharper parts away, a little room to stay, with a warm and quiet view. And I find a kind of gladness in the silver
sidewalks after tea look a little brighter now. Rain has left a polish on them, like the sky said, take a bow. I step out from the little cafe with the song still in my head, and the city that felt heavy feels a little light instead. Cup is empty, heart is clear, and the whole wet street feels strangely dear. Sidewalks after tea, shining silver under feet, turning every block I wander into somewhere calm and sweet. Sidewalks after tea, like the day got gently cleaned, and the world that rushed around me now moves soft and almost green. Buses sigh beside the corner, leaves are dark against the stone. People pass in quiet colors, but I don't feel on my own. There's a sweetness in the aftermath of a warm and simple break. How the air can change around you just by giving you a space. No big answer, no big sign, just a better rhythm for the mind. After tea, shining silver under feet, turning every block I wander into somewhere calm and sweet. Sidewalks after tea, I will walk them all the way, with a lighter kind of music in the middle of the gray. Resting where the day slows, by the glass and little lights, where the rain along the rooftop sounds almost like a lullaby. I didn't know I needed such a small and quiet thing, till the chair and cup and window made the whole room softly sing. What a way to come back down from the weight of the town. Resting where the day slows in the silver and the steam, where the world becomes a little more forgiving than it seems. Resting where the day slows, that's the place I wanna be, when the hours start to lean too hard and ask too much of me. There are drops along the awning, there are pages turning near, there are low and easy voices making all the edges clear. Some afternoons are medicine, though they never call themselves anything more than rain and music on a row of wooden shelves. Maybe peace is not a place, maybe peace is just a pace. Resting where the day slows in the silver and the steam, where the world becomes a little more forgiving than it seems. Resting where the day slows, when I leave I'll understand how the gentlest kind of hour can help Porcelain and passing clouds, that's the shape this hour takes. Teacup warm against my fingers, rain light running down the frame. Outside every roof is silver, inside every lamp is gold, and the room feels full of stories that are gentle when they're told. All the day starts to clear, not the weather, but the heart in here. Porcelain and passing clouds, little comforts, little signs that a busy kind of living can still leave some peace behind. Porcelain and passing clouds. Porcelain and passing clouds set the afternoon at ease, and the whole room starts to listen to the weather and the breeze. Someone folds the paper slowly, someone stirs a final round, and the city through the window looks less noisy when it's drowned. Maybe grace is made of textures, warm white cups and muted skies, little things that hold together when the louder daylight flies. No need to hurry, no need to prove there is enough beauty in a slower groove. Porcelain and passing clouds, little comforts, little signs that a busy kind of living can still leave some peace behind. Porcelain and passing clouds, I will take them when I go. How a silver day can lift me, how a small room learns to glow. Hush beneath the awning while the rain goes whispering down. Cars are rolling past in silver, people drift through soft and sound. I stand here with a paper cup and nowhere urgent left to be. For a little while the whole wet world feels easy, letting me breathe in the parks by the street. There's a calm I wanna keep. Hush beneath the awning, little shelter, little song, holding back the noisy weather just enough to get me strong. Hush beneath the awning on a day that moved too fast. Be beautiful and last. Drops collect along the canvas, then they fall in easy time, and the cafe by the corner lets its yellow windows shine. Maybe joy is not a sunshine, maybe joy is not a plan, maybe joy is this small kind
strong. Hush beneath the awning when I walk back through the rain. I will hear this quiet kindness like a melody remain. Warmth before the next train, that's what this small hour is. Rain outside the station, tea and low familiar jazz. People checking times and platforms while I sit a little back. And the room feels like a pocket sewn inside the busy track. Not much time, still enough for a cup and a little love. Warmth before the next train, in the middle of the day, like a little room of kindness on the route and on the way. Warmth before the next train makes the whole world feel less loud, and the station through the window looks almost gentle in the cloud. Every traveler has a weather, every coat a place to go. But for now the steam is rising and the tempo's moving slow. Maybe all the heart is asking is a pause before the run, and a song that says so softly you don't have to miss the sun. The train will come, the doors will slide, but first I get this little tie. Warmth before the